Hi, guys. It has been a crazy week. I just got back from Europe last night and the jet lag is really settling in. This week, we are re releasing an old episode about what life is really like as a travel PT, since we get so many people asking about travel therapy all the time. But don't worry, we will be back next week with an amazing guest. We seriously have the best conversations about oral hygiene and healthcare.
Yes, we have literally gotten so many people reaching out to us to get connected with travel healthcare. And honestly, it has been a lot for us to manage because we just do not have the time to reach out to as many people as have been messaging us and submitting to our form. So, we have been thinking about one on one calls with you because we want you guys to feel supported on your journey into travel healthcare. So, we would love to sit down on a call with you one on one and talk about your interests, how to start travel therapy, if you're a new grad or not, and how we can help you achieve those goals. So, book a call with us. A link will be in the episode notes, and we will see you soon. Enjoy this week's episode. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Physio Diaries podcast. We are your co-hosts, Dr. Melanie Ziaziris
and Dr. Alice Koshavatsky, where students, healthcare professionals, and wellness junkies come to get the inside scoop of the healthcare and wellness industry.
The podcast you didn't know you needed by your favorite travel physical therapists. Today, we're going to talk about the places Alice and I have been to as travelers, making friends in new cities, and our travel experiences. Make sure to subscribe because we talk about new topics every week. So, what has been up this week?
Honestly, this week has been busy. It's been a blur. I don't know how we're almost at the end of the week because I feel like I just blinked. But that's a good thing, right? Because it's a long weekend.
Oh, yeah, Labor Day weekend.
So I'm excited and I just can't wait for the weekend. But actually, last weekend, I was talking to Mel about this. It was kind of funny because I think we'd recorded a podcast earlier that day. And I told her, I was like, oh, I'm meeting up with a friend that I met in Washington. Basically, I posted a video on my TikTok when I was in Hawaii and said my next travel destination would be Washington. Like the location was in Washington. And so this girl found me on there and she messaged me and she was like, hey, I'm about to move there. I'm a nurse and I'm about to move there around the same time as you. So I was like, that's kind of how we started talking. And we've hung out a couple times now and she's super cool. But anyways, that morning she got off her shift at like 7 o'clock in the morning and nurses do like 3 12-hour shifts. So I knew she'd be tired, but it was like her one day off in between that and another shift. So we hadn't texted all day. And then she lives about an hour away. So I drove all the way out to her and then we were going to get her nails done. And I get to the salon and I'm like 10 minutes late. I look and she still hasn't texted me. So I'm like, that's weird. In the back of your head, you're always kind of like, is this person ghosting me? Even though I know she would never do that type of thing. But I'm like, why is she not responding? Does she not want to be my friend anymore? And so I waited. I swear I waited like 5-10 minutes. But the salon was about to close. And I'm like, I did not just drive all the way here just to turn around. I'm getting my nails done, getting my toes done, everything. Basically, she calls me. And meanwhile, I had already decided either something was really wrong. So I texted her. I was like, if you need anything, let me know, because it had been an hour since we were supposed to meet up.
Oh my God, so
And I'm
long.
also texting Mel. I'm like, I just got stood up by a girl.
I'm like, no way she just got ghosted. There's no freaking way.
I know. There was just like 5% of me that's like, that's an option. That's like something that could have happened. But part of me was also like, is she okay? Is she alive? Did she sleep through her alarm? Which is what happened. So anyways, that is what happened. And we met up and got dinner and everything after.
Okay. Yes. I didn't hear the end to this. I heard the beginning and then did not hear what happened.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was like, I did not just drive all the way over here not to see her because I'm only going to be here for a couple more weeks. And so I was like, I really want to see her. But yes, making friends is a whole different ballgame when you know you're going to be temporarily there because part of you is like, I want to find these friends and like make new connections and stuff. But then part of you in the back of your head is like, but I'm going to have to leave. So That's the worst part for me, and that's kind of where I'm at right now is like nearing the end of my contract. And I've made more friends on this contract because we've stayed here longer. So that's always the hardest part is like saying your goodbyes to your patients, to your friends. But it's also bittersweet because then you're like, I have a place to come back to and I have people that I could stay with. So Alice got ghosted.
So you ended up getting dinner together though, and like everything was cool. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, no, she is awesome. You know, part of you, so we met through TikTok. So part of you,
Yeah, it's so funny.
this little voice in your brain is like, okay, like I'm meeting this person that I met online. And that was like the first person that I've kind of done that with. But also, you're going to a new place and you're kind of like just trying to make friends. And she reached out, and I was like, I had my boyfriend come, and then her husband was coming because she probably thought the same exact thing. We didn't end up being serial killers, either of us. So that's great. But yes, that's kind of how we make friends as well as like just coworkers and stuff, you know, just meeting people through social media.
Totally. I mean, making friends in each place is so different because each place has such a different vibe. Like, it's so funny you guys met through TikTok. I don't think I've made any friends through social media. My thing of choice, preference of choice, I guess, is Bumble BFF. But we'll get into that later
Okay. So,
after we catch up a little bit.
hey,
It's on the list of things to talk about.
Mel, what has been up with you this week? I know you have a story to share.
So this week has felt super long, but it's been good. I've been getting a lot of sleep this week, which is great for me. I've been trying to really regulate my sleep because I've been done a lot better as of lately, but it has not always been the case. And when I say regulate and like me not getting the most sleep, I like can't get under 8 hours of sleep. I feel it if I get under 8 hours. So I've been trying to get between 8 and 9. Some days it works, some days it doesn't, but I do feel better energy wise this week.
Good.
It is actually my last week at the clinic before my month-long vacation, and I'm so
Hell yeah.
freaking excited.
Oh my
I
God.
Oh my god, wait, I have the funniest story. So yesterday I emailed someone and I was like, unfortunately, this is my last week here for a little bit. I'm gonna be gone all of September, but I'll be back in October. Don't worry. And he was like, you're going on vacation for a month? I said, yeah. He goes, okay. And this is an old man, okay. He goes, what the shit is that?
I'm special. What can I say?
And we just burst out laughing because he's like, how the hell do you go on a vacation for a month? And I'm like, the traveler life.
As like a permanent therapist, you don't get more than like 2 weeks. So the fact that you are taking a month off is wild. That is crazy.
I know. But like, I haven't had any breaks. Like, you've had some breaks
Oh,
in
yeah.
between, and I haven't. So I'm like, just pile it all up for me for a month. But I'm actually going back to the same clinic I'm at right now. But like, that is not typical. Florida has just been a very different experience in terms of the internal travel world because I've been hopping around. But anyway, it's been so funny to tell people like, oh, I'll be gone on vacation for a month, but I'll be back. I'll see you in October.
Like, where is she going?
I'm like, oh, I'm just going to, chill, Greece, Chicago, whatever.
Bus, another club, bus, plane.
Yeah,
That's me
literally,
now, I swear.
literally my September.
Yes.
But I do have a story. I didn't tell you this story. I just put it in our notes because we have a Physio Diaries notes for each episode. But I have been treating someone and they were coming in for one thing and they come in to therapy this week, told me this story, and they pretty much dropped something on their foot. And they're a bit older, so you always have to think, oh no, fracture. I was like, oh no, let me feel the areas. There's certain areas on the foot and ankle that you want to feel for that indicate like x-ray and the ankle rules. But hers was a little different placement. So I got the tuning fork, did the tuning fork oscillatory test for fractures. It was the first time I've ever had like a strict positive test. Called the doctor, let them know the situation. They were super cool, very thankful. They went in to get imaging. They had a fracture. And I was like, no, I didn't
Wow.
want to be right. But I'll see you in October.
Yes, music or doctorate degree. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah, but it's so unfortunate for them. They're active.
What did they drop on their foot, Mel? Do you know?
A table.
Oh my gosh, and they thought that they were okay?
Well,
No big
they're tough. They were like, well, it's like hurting, but they weren't sure. And I was like, oh, we got to get some imaging here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised that did they get a referral or was that direct access?
So they were already coming to PT. Like I have been treating them, but for something else. So this was like a new thing that happened.
Well, good for you because you basically refer them to get the x-ray, just had to go through the doctor. But there are some states actually where PTs can order x-rays, which is really
Oh my gosh. I just heard. Isn't Arizona on the list?
yeah, there's a list out there. I know Washington you can't, but literally today, I think my patient has more than like something bone related. I think it's more like the muscle or the labrum. But I sent a note to the doctor basically saying that this patient may benefit from an x-ray or an MRI, but we can't say like they need an x-ray and MRI. We always have to be careful with our language because we're not the ones that are recommending it or ordering it. It has to come from the doctor. But that is
Okay.
awesome that we can rule things out like that.
I just looked it up. It's Wisconsin, Colorado, Utah, New Jersey, Maryland.
Oh, so there's not that many.
I didn't even think we could straight order them. And
Hey, I'll be in Wisconsin for my next job. Oh my God.
yes, you will.
Wow. That's seems like such a responsibility. I love it.
But yeah, it was an unfortunate thing for that person, but glad it got taken care of ASAP so they can be off their feet and let it heal. And I told them I'll see them in October.
I had the same exact scenario in my last job. It was a guy that I was treating for quite a long time. He had a 10-pound weight. He was doing exercises at home. Out of nowhere, he set his weight on the table, but I don't know if it was like uneven or something. It fell on his toe. And he came in the next day. Everyone in Hawaii either doesn't wear shoes or they're wearing flip flops. And so he comes in. So his toe is all black and blue. He's like just casually telling me, like, you know what, Alice? Like, I was doing my exercises and bam, like the weight fell right on my big toe.
Oh.
I didn't do any tuning fork. All I had to do was look at it and tell him that might be broken. Like it did not look right. But like right away, I was like, it was swollen. It was like so bruised. And I'm like, you're just walking around like this. He ended up getting it x-rayed. It was like completely fractured. I think they just ended up putting him in a boot, being like, okay, go on your merry way. But ever since that, I am so terrified that I will either drop a weight on my foot or a patient's foot. So I'm probably a little too cautious about that, but I'm always so careful because I'm like, that is not happening.
For sure.
Yeah. So watch out with your weights, guys. If you're like at the gym, in your PT session.
No broken feet or
That is
toes.
not cute.
Mm-mm.
That boot, not cute.
Yeah, the boots are not it. Great for like bone healing, but for everything else, ugh, I don't like them. I literally get people out of them as quick as possible once they're healed enough.
That's a great trademark or invention idea is making a boot that's first of all not as chunky and second of all cute to wear. Can we do that?
I know they're so heavy. They're so bulky and heavy. It messes up everyone's gait pattern.
That's an idea.
Okay, question for you. Have you done the tuning fork test in the clinic?
No, I don't even think we have a tuning fork in the clinic.
What? Really?
Yes. Honestly, I should ask, but I haven't done it. We did it in that lab in PT school, right? We used it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm just assuming that we did it because PT school was a blur.
That's fair.
But no, I don't recall us, honestly, any of my clinics having one. But also, I've never seen a therapist use one. So
really? Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I've only used one once before because I had someone that they had some other things, a bunch of things going on, but they were having pain around their fibular head. So I was like, let me just see if like anything pops out. But for them, it wasn't that clear. It wasn't, I would not say like a for real positive test. It was achy, but it was pretty much negative. But with this one, it was a pretty clear positive. So I feel like with the tuning fork test, a lot of times they can be kind of inconclusive and you don't know. But if they're truly positive, I feel like you'll know.
Yeah. When you know, you know. Well, great lesson there.
Story of the week.
Love that because that's such an empowering moment. And those times are the times where you're like, yeah, I have a doctorate and I'm really making use of it.
Yeah.
Some days I'm like, I just feel like a glorified personal trainer. Not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh.
You
Don't
know.
even get me started.
Yeah, I'm just like, do your exercises. Let's go through these. Let's get good at these. But, anyways, what are we here to really talk about today?
The places that we've traveled to and our experiences.
The best part about travel PT is the travel. This is why we're here. This is why we did this. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I guess I'll list the places that I've gone to. So far, I've been in Indiana, Georgia, and now Florida. From Chicago, but I never worked as a physical therapist in Chicago, just like in clinicals. So yeah, I guess that doesn't really count too much. But okay, I guess let's go down the list of the questions. I guess I'll start with Indiana. What did I like about Indiana? It was cheap. The cost of living, honestly, that's the main thing. It was so cheap. The cost of living was the least. So I never really felt like I was spending much. And like literally rent for me there was, mind you, I also split the cost with my boyfriend. But rent for me, just me in Indiana with all of the things was 700.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you do not find places like that here.
Yeah. So my portion of rent, and technically the actual rent was 600, but that was a whole situation. But do you remember when I had to get a non-furnished place and furnish it?
Oh my
So
God. Oh, that sounds terrible.
add that to the list. There were not that many places on Furnish Finder in the area I was at because I was not trying to drive 40 minutes to get to this clinic. So I tried to find something as close as possible and it was not furnished, but I got a really good deal. And the person that I actually was, I guess, leasing from used to be a physical therapist. Now she does like real estate construction and all that. So it worked out very great. I'll have to say that story. I guess I can say it, but
Go ahead.
okay. So I used Furnish Finder always. The area I was going to was Indiana, south of Indianapolis, smaller town. This was literally in like the most stressful time of our lives. Literally 1 week. No, I was messaging this person on Furnish Finder the week before taking the board exam, okay? The week after the board exam, there was 1 week, and then I was going to Asia and also moving out of the apartment that me and Alice were living in.
Oh my
So
God.
I legit remember me and David were at happy hour, my boyfriend. We were at a happy hour literally across the river. I look at my email, and this person that I've been messaging for 2 weeks to start the next step says this apartment has been taken.
I remember that.
I was so freaking stressed. I literally called, talked to everyone in that town of Indiana that I could possibly find on apartments, Zillow, all of the websites. Oh my gosh, the amount of phone calls. But anyway, these great people. Actually, it wasn't even supposed to be a short term lease. They only did yearly leases, but they were like, okay, she's a travel physical therapist. I told them where I was working. She used to work at that clinic. And so they pretty much just like trusted me and were like, okay, they were great, but had to furnish it. I did like some stuff on Amazon, really cheap stuff on Amazon, and then rented a couple things. Like I rented washer, dryer, rented a couch. I think that was it. David brought his TV. And then I just found some really cheap, good stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, it's super easy to furnish with just the essentials. And this apartment was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
It was good and spacious. So good, cheap, all of that.
but limited housing if you wanted to stay in the area or closer to the area. Honestly, there just wasn't much to do there. Indianapolis, I'm sorry for Indianapolis people out there. If anyone's listening from Indianapolis, I respect it. There were some cool things in it, but it's just not like a Chicago. So I would go to Chicago more often and travel. So there was that. But it was good for a little bit of time. Could I live there long term though? No.
Absolutely not.
It was also really hard to make friends in Indiana. That was the hardest place for me to make friends in because Bumble BFF, like I tried to use it. I actually met one person, but kind of more towards like the middle end of my contract, which was unfortunate because she was really cool and we got along really well. But that was the only person I met that met my vibe. It really was just so limited. And like the people at my clinic, they were great coworkers, but like a lot of them were married. Some had kids, starting a family, like just different vibe.
They're just in a different place in life than you are.
Exactly. So just different. Georgia, the process for getting the licensure in Georgia was
Nightmare.
the most archaic thing I've ever experienced or heard of. And it took so long that it just set a bad mood for Georgia.
Before you were even there.
Yes. Yes. I had to get fingerprints. I had to get sent the fingerprints because I wasn't there, and that never came to me. That delayed the process. I had to send in documents that delayed the process because they had to wait till they actually got them and looked through them and filed them. And then if there was an error, you had to like resend in the entire form and wait for it to be processed. It was just, ugh, oh my God. And getting a hold of the Georgia board was the worst. I would literally wake up in the mornings before having to go to work and like talk to them. And I had to like work as an aide until I got licensure. But Atlanta was fun. Atlanta was cool. It was easier making friends. I started working with this one company that does like promotional modeling. And so I went to this event and I met two friends there and we were like grouped together during the event and we just bonded and connected and like went out later that night and I still talk to them every
Aw.
so often and we would hang out throughout my time in Georgia because that was at the very beginning. And one of them actually might be coming to Tampa and she's like, maybe I'll come a little early. We can hang. And I was like, yes, stay with me, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out Bree and Marcia. They were great. But yeah, it was definitely easier to make friends. But Bumble BFF, I used it a good amount in Georgia too. Met two girls off of it. They were great, but it was so hard to find time to hang out. That is like the hardest part, I think.
But that's going to happen regardless. I feel like that's something I've also noticed is like in PT school, somehow we had more time to hang out with our friends, but maybe it's because we were all in PT school together. So it felt like we were hanging out, but really it was like class at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I
But I
know.
noticed that too. It's like, it's so hard to make plans
It
when you're
is.
working.
Especially when they're new friends. I feel like that also adds another layer. Cause if it's like just us, I'll be like, girl, I'm coming over for dinner or like whatever. I'll
Right.
just come and hang out. Like it's no big deal. We don't have to like plan a whole thing.
Right. It doesn't have to be a whole event.
Yes. But with new friends, it's like a whole event. And like you have to feel out their vibe. You have to like see how you're gonna maneuver and like, are you gonna expose everything or not?
Right. Like how much of your life can they know or like can they handle?
Yeah, and like what are they comfortable with? What are their boundaries? I don't
Right.
really have any boundaries. I'm an open book, but not a lot of people are like me.
Yes. Well, the thing is, if you think about it, I don't know if this is true or not, or how true it is, but I feel like when you're at the age that we are, we're like in our late 20s, I don't think I would be as inclined if I had stayed in Chicago to expand my social circle. And I think that's normal.
Yeah,
Like when you get older, you have like a tighter group of friends, smaller group of friends, because you're not trying to make that many new friends. You just get comfortable with the people that you have in your circle. I feel like the good thing about travel is that you're like a newbie in the area and there's a bunch of other newbies in the area. You're just like, hey, does anybody want to go do this? And usually, like, people are down. It's just you're not used to doing that. Cause I feel like it's more when you're younger, we're more inclined to make friends like college. Everybody's brand new. Everybody's like super social. But as you get in your 20s, it feels like people aren't as willing sometimes. So you have to really go out of your way to like find the people that are.
I also feel like so many girls, I don't know, are you on Bumble BFF?
No, but Emily is my twin sister, and she has met so many people in Arizona on it,
Okay.
and they seem really cool.
I feel like some people just get like anxiety for like meeting people for the first time because I'll like talk to people and then when it comes down to like making plans, it's like wishy washy. It doesn't happen every time or anything, but like I've definitely noticed that. And so it's hard to find someone that truly fits your vibe.
And I feel like for us, just with the nature of our job, new people do not faze me. I
Not at
meet
all.
new people every single day, and we work with strangers all the time. So I'm almost probably a little too comfortable with strangers and too nice. I'm like, wait, no, there's bad people out in this world, Alice. Put on your resting bitch face. But that's the thing. I think I've been like more cautious about using Bumble BFF is like Emily has told me that there's definitely some people that she's like, okay, I meet them and I'm like, okay, this is not going anywhere. The vibe is off. Or like, she'll get together with someone and then be like, okay, we just didn't click. And it seems like kind of similar to dating
100%.
where it's like you get there and you're like, your vibe is totally different than how you came off through text, which is fine. At least you gave it a try. But
You're right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else about Atlanta. Some people might hate me for saying this or get on me about saying this, but Atlanta is a small city.
so is Seattle.
It's not big. Like it's small and there's not that many actual areas within the city of Atlanta that like people are really going to and going out in and doing stuff in. Like
I think it's because you're comparing it to Chicago and you
I
grew up in
know
the
I
city. Like you're a
am.
city girl. So having that as a reference is just going to make every other city besides like New York feel small.
It's been so hard to like I compare every place to Chicago and I'm like, "Oh no,
You just be let
they're
down.
not like Chicago." I
Get Chicago out of your head for a second.
know, I just miss it.
If you compare any city to Chicago, if you can't tell, we both love Chicago 6 months out of the year, but we love Chicago. Hate
That's a
the
stretch.
winters there, not the winters. But when you come from Chicago, you really do compare every other city. And I'm like, this is it. That's your city.
Right, like, it's just these 2 areas?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
anyway.
the River North neighborhood is like the size of the city.
Literally.
But
But, yeah, Georgia was cool. It was super Southern, though. I feel like the food scene wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be because they're just very Southern, and I knew I was going to the South, but it just was not for me. But Florida has been interesting. It rains every day right now because we are in the season and it like downpours. I had no idea that it rained like this.
is this like an all day situation or like,
No, not all day. Well, right now it's been raining more. At first, it started only like an hour or two a day. And now it's like middle of the day, it'll do it and then it'll stop for the rest of the night. But like when it comes down
it's like it pours a bucket of water on?
literally a bucket just down on you. And there's a lot of lightning. And apparently, I'm in like a high lightning zone or something. So you see a lot of lightning.
Ooh.
I know
You're
it's
like,
scary.
"Sorry."
But it's been much easier to make friends in Florida though. I there's a lot Florida is such a huge transplant city, which I did not realize. Legit 80% of people here are from freaking East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Pennsylvania. No one is actually from here. So it's actually been so much easier to meet people here because there's endless amount of people on Bumble BFF because there's just so
Awesome.
many girls that just moved here or just looking to make friends and stuff. So I've met a couple girls. I have some girl dates planned for next week.
Nice.
But this heat here is wild. It is very hot.
Even for you, Mel could be in a sauna for the rest of her life and she would be content. I'm not even kidding. She's
Yeah.
always cold. Always. I would crank up the AC in the apartment. She'd be like, Alice, why is it so cold in here? And I'm like, really? I'm sweating right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have different temperature regulation.
Yes, but yeah, literally everyone here is transplant. Like they're not from here, which is like kind of fun to see all people from different areas coming to Florida. Like I really had no idea that it was a thing. I don't know if I told you this, but in Florida where I'm at, I don't live in this town, but it's nearby to me. It has the largest Greek population outside of Greece.
Wow. That is wild.
And the area are called the Sponge Docks. It's like literally all the Greek things. I get so many Greek patients,
Oh
or
my
I've gotten so many Greek patients, and it's been so weird because there's no one that's ever Greek around me, like ever, or that speaks and is like not my grandparents' friend.
gosh.
But yeah, it's been an interesting experience. And the freaking no-see-ums, those bugs, the amount of bug bites I've gotten while I've been here, they literally have bugs called no-see-ums.
You can't see them, but they bite you like crazy.
Yeah, I have the worst bug bite on my ankle right now.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
Feel like I've really lived through Georgia because I lived in the city and the suburbs. And in Florida, I'm just kind of going all around. I definitely want to explore more of Florida, but I definitely don't plan to go back to like the states I'm in. So, like, I don't plan to go back to Georgia. I definitely don't plan to go back to Indiana. I want to experience more of Florida. So we'll see what happens after January because I'll be here at least till January.
Nice.
We'll see.
What else is on your list of places you want to hit?
I really want to go back to Texas. So in clinicals, I was in Houston for 3 months and I loved Houston. I want to go back, but I also really want to check out Austin and Dallas area. And my company does go to Texas. So hopefully next year there'll be something. I would be open to seeing Arizona. I think that's the furthest west I'm willing to go. I was thinking about New York briefly because I just miss big cities, but I don't know about that one. That would really depend on a lot of things. But outside of that, I don't think I really care too much about other states to go to them, at least for living. I think that's it.
Nice.
What about you? Tell us where you have been.
Well, the first one, we couldn't be picky. We,
Yeah.
a lot of these contracts look for like a year experience, and we were little baby new grads just looking for a contract. North Dakota came up. And at the time when our recruiter offered this contract, I was like, hell no. That is the last state. If I had to rank from 1 to 50, most wanted place to go, Hawaii. Least, for sure, like dead last, North Dakota. And when she said that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like there has to be something else. I was talking about this. We were on a little hike in Canada at the time with my mom, my aunt, cousin, sisters. This girl behind us, she's like, I'm so sorry. I can't even help to overhear, but I heard that you are thinking about taking a job in North Dakota. And I was like, cool, great. She's going to be like, she loves it. She's like, I hate it. It is terrible there. She's a med student there. And so I think that might have like tainted her experience a little in like Fargo. So it's not even close to where I was. But I was like, oh my gosh, is that a sign? Did someone just plant her there to make sure that I don't take this contract? Anyway, signed the contract the next day, despite all the signs not to. Honestly, I was there for 3 months. It was not as bad as you would expect. If you have the lowest of the lowest expectations going into something, they can only be, exceeded from there. So honestly, I think North Dakota is beautiful in its own way. The most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen, probably because it's so flat and there's nothing to
Oh,
like block anything.
that's so interesting.
Yeah, they were gorgeous. And the sun would set at like 11 o'clock at night. So I love that. Job was really chill, really easy. My rent, drum
Oh
roll,
my gosh.
was $300 a month
Insane. So cheap.
for me, myself, and then my boyfriend paid the same. But we basically lived in an assisted living facility, or he likes to remind me it's an independent living facility, but doesn't matter. We were living amongst other older individuals, elderly individuals, because there's no housing. This was a town, it was in Stanley, North Dakota, a town of 2,000 people.
So little. Oh my gosh.
No, literally, probably the amount of people that lived in the building that Mel and I lived in together.
Yeah, I better say literally one Chicago apartment building.
I know. I seriously hadn't had a panic attack in so long. I mean, I was close. I was like, seriously, I don't think I can do this. I can't live here for 3 months. It is so dead. But it ended up being a good job. North Dakota ended up having more to do than I thought. They actually have a national park, which is actually beautiful. It's called Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and it looks like the Badlands in South Dakota. I really liked it. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. But then I'm not going to say the worst state because I'm sure there's worse states than North Dakota now.
Totally.
So, anyways, I went to Hawaii for my next one. I was on a big island, the Kona side, so the sunny side of the island. I worked 30, I realized I said 32 previously. It was actually 36 hours a week. So I worked 4 days a week. I had Wednesdays off. Oh my gosh, I think I'm in love with Hawaii.
It was beautiful.
I know. I think about it on a daily basis. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I wish I was in Hawaii. And so part of me is like, I almost wish I'd never had that experience because now every contract, I'm comparing it to the beauty of Hawaii. Even Washington, I'm like, this is beautiful. But also, like, Hawaii is just like right there. But I loved it. I sobbed when I left. And my boyfriend hasn't seen me cry like that ever. Like, I've never been so passionate about something in my life. I loved it. The only thing I didn't like about Hawaii is how expensive it was and then how far away it was from family.
It's so far.
If we could pick it up, plop it down somewhere on the West Coast and just keep it there, I'd move there in a heartbeat.
Would you go back to Hawaii?
100%, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I would probably try and see if I can get a job on a different island just to experience that. But I would also be totally fine with going back to the big island. It was amazing.
What if we both did a travel contract there together?
I would love that.
That
Yes.
would be insane.
Yeah, the four of us living in Hawaii.
From Chicago to Hawaii.
No, seriously. And then that would be so much more affordable if there's four of us all together. Might be a tight squeeze, but you know what? We basically did it for like a month when Hippo was back in Chicago. So we can do it. We know we can. And we know we make great roommates.
That's facts.
Guys, Hawaii is, oh my gosh. Like when I dream of Hawaii at night.
Do you have a con to Hawaii outside of it being expensive?
No, that's it. I said expensive and far away, but that is it. I don't think I could think of another thing. It is the perfect place. Well, I mean, natural disasters. There's earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, like whatever. That's just like a little, thing.
Did you experience any earthquakes?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I experienced my first earthquake. I was laying in bed, and you guys, we don't get earthquakes in the Midwest. So for me,
no, not at all.
I was laying horizontal. I was on my computer doing something. And I legit felt a wave go through my entire body. It started from my head and went to my toes, and it felt like everything just kind of went like that.
Oh my God.
That was like a 4 something. But then a couple weeks later, I was in the clinic and a massive earthquake hit. And so you do not want to be indoors if stuff is going to be like falling off the shelves. We have a bunch of equipment. And so my boss's reaction scared me more than like the actual earthquake itself. She grabbed a bunch of patients and was like, go outside, go outside, go outside. I was like, I didn't even know what happened. If no one told me, I wouldn't have known that there was even an earthquake. But her reaction scared me so bad because I've never seen her like that. We ran outside in like 2 seconds and thankfully everything was okay. There was no aftershock, but like, experiencing your first earthquake is just like the trippiest thing. You're like, what was that?
Yeah, I literally can't imagine, but glad all were safe.
Yeah, look at us experiencing new natural disasters.
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm going through hurricane season.
Yeah, you're in like Hurricane Alley, I guess. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Tornado Alley, but Florida also gets its fair share of natural disasters. Hawaii gets tsunamis, all that stuff too. But anyways, the drawbacks in Hawaii are like totally worth all the good things, all the vibes. The people are so nice, and it was just the best state for like lifestyle. It was such a slow pace of life. Both Mel and I think we would say we're more fast paced, like go, go, go. Yeah, it almost forced me to slow down and just like live that lifestyle. And it was great. It was a beach vacation for 4 months straight.
Literally islander life. You were living the island life.
I know. The aloha lifestyle. It was so great. Now I'm in Washington. I really like it. Like I said, we've met the most people and we've just made better friendships, I feel like, because we've been here longer. But I did get really close with my coworkers in Hawaii. I really, really liked them. And they were like a family to me because we ate lunch every day together and, we would hang out and go to the beach and stuff. So
What a great community.
I know. But here, I really do like that everybody is so active. And when I ask people in an eval, do you have any hobbies? They rarely ever say watching TV. Okay. They'll say walking or hiking or rock climbing, skiing. They will come up with so many different things because people come out here to be active and to stay active way into their 70s and 80s. So I really like that about the West Coast.
Okay, that just reminded me of something. Florida feels the same as that, and Georgia was the opposite in terms of seeing patterns in the patient population and just different things. Florida, people are so much more active. It's just such a different life. And Georgia was not, people are not active like that from what I saw. And it makes such a difference. You can tell, you can just tell.
And that's what I love about travel too, is you would never meet these people and really get to know just the culture and the population as well as you do actually living there versus visiting, you don't really interact with the locals, I guess, as much.
So yeah, seeing the locals is definitely different than just visiting there.
Just visiting for 2 weeks. It's completely different. But next contract is in Wisconsin, close to home. So we kind of know what that's like. But more exciting for me, the states that I want to go to, I definitely want to go back to Hawaii. No question. I want to go to Alaska just because it's supposed to be similar to Washington, but I only want to go in the summer. I do not want to experience an Alaska winter. No, thank you. But I also want to go to California. And now that the licensure process is easier, you don't have to take the exam in the state. It's a lot.
You don't?
No, they just changed it a couple weeks ago. So
you mean the jurisprudence?
Yeah, the jurisprudence exam you used to have to sit for. Now it's just online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to work in California, they made it easier, which California never makes anything easier. They always do their own thing, always make things so hard for people. So when this happened, I think that's a big deal. So Cali, big state, I would do maybe San Diego and I don't know, something else. I would do multiple in California because it's such a beautiful state. I want to do one in Arizona because my sister lives there. What else? Colorado, maybe for the next one.
I could see that for you.
Yeah. So it's funny because you're I will not go past Arizona. I'm I will not go past Arizona, but the other way. The West Coast is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I love the beaches. And that was one thing about Georgia is there was so much beautiful nature. I had no idea how many mountains and parks and all of that were in Georgia, which is great. So much nature. I did my first hike in Georgia. And I am a beach person. And that side is so cold in the water. It's a lot more mountains and hiking trails and stuff like that. And I want the nice Gulf Shore, the ocean. I just want the ocean and the palm trees. That is my vibe.
I get that. Okay. Well, Q&A time.
I feel like I had a question.
Okay.
Are you looking forward to anything in Wisconsin?
No, not in the state itself. Can't.
No, nothing. Just doing it to be close to Chicago.
Thought of something. This would be my best paying contract so far. So that's
oh my God.
Yes. I don't know if it's because we have a year of experience or because we're working with a bigger recruiting company, but that will be the best pay that we've gotten so far. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to save money and I'm excited to be closer to home. So my little sister just started high school.
Oh my God, this year.
Yeah, I'm glad to be around for that time of her life, just to spend more time with my family. So that's the biggest thing.
So cute.
It's so wholesome. We love it.
Very wholesome.
there's definitely pros and cons to every place. So gotta consider that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Q&A time.
Yes. So, Mel, this question I think came from someone and they said, do you have a favorite body part or injury that you like to treat?
Okay. So
I don't know the hard
I,
answer.
I'm going to start by saying I don't have a foot fetish. But
Disclaimer.
disclaimer, Mel does not have a foot fetish. But I love treating the foot and ankle. I don't know what it is about the foot and ankle, but in school, I did not care one bit. When we talked about pronated, yeah, and supinated and inversion, eversion, all of the planes and all of that, I could not give less fricks. But in the clinic, I was like, whoa, it's so complex, but yet so kind of straightforward. And there's like these fundamentals that every foot and ankle need. And that is how you get a strong foot and ankle. I feel like I just found a formula kind of for it. I mean, everyone's different, but I don't know. It's kind of like you just find a formula that works for you. And when it consistently works, you just like know it's good and can build off of that. And I feel like I found that with the foot and ankle. And a lot of people don't like the foot and ankle. So I'm like, give them to me. And there's a lot of like balance work with it too. And I really love doing balance work with people.
On the Bosu.
Oh, yeah. The Bosu
Mel loves
ball.
Bosu.
I do. It's my favorite toy. You'll always see me on a Bosu ball in a gym.
You could like nap on a Bosu if you wanted to. Like your balance. I see the videos that Mel puts out and I'm like, holy crap. I don't think
But yeah, so I just really like the foot and ankle. It's just interesting to me, fun to treat. But outside of that, I love pelvic floor related things. Unfortunately, I have not been treating as much lately just because in Florida, at the clinics I'm at, don't do internal. So I can't really do it too much, but I'll add it in here and there. I do like the shoulder. I can get really annoyed with the shoulder, but I do like it. And concussions. I really like concussions. I think they're so fun.
Nice. That's a good mix of so many different things.
It's literally the most random things you can think of.
Yeah. A
I
little
don't know.
sprinkle of neuro, ortho, pelvic, you name it.
Yeah. Any specific injuries? Yeah, just those. Those are my fave. The others are kind of subpart. What about you? What is your favorite thing?
I was trying to think of this. And honestly, I don't think I have a favorite body part. Like if I see that I'm doing an evaluation that day, I'm not going to like jump for joy. But I don't know. I do really like the foot and ankle. I think a lot of balance stuff is really exciting. It depends, but sometimes I really do like the low back. But when I get 1.5 million low back evaluations, that's when I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, can we please switch it up? But overall, I really like working on core strength and like functional activities. So I don't mind the back because I feel like that's something that needs so much education. But I do like treating children.
Oh,
Every once in a
yeah.
while, I like treating kids for like whatever it may be. My favorite rotation in PT school was my pediatric one in schools. So I think that was like my favorite setting, really. But every once in a while, I don't mind getting like a teenager or someone younger because I feel like it kind of helps to switch up my day versus like a majority of my patient caseload is like patients in their like 70s, 80s, you know, with like the to be expected aches and pains versus like, okay, I sprained my ankle and I want to get back to sprinting or something. So I don't know. I like to have younger patients just to switch it up, but I really wouldn't say I have this body part I love to treat. I would say the only thing I don't love is post-op shoulder. I can
Interesting.
do it like total shoulders, rotator cuff repair. It's just the initial couple weeks of treatment are so, I want to say boring.
Boring. Yeah, I was saying because they're boring.
It is.
Straight
And
up
I feel bad
boring.
because I'm like, it's boring for the patient. It's not that boring for me. It's just like, it's not exciting stuff. It's not sexy.
No,
Like we're doing
no.
isometrics, we're doing passive range of motion, table sides. And you're just like, I want to get to the good stuff. I want to do like the dynamic stability exercises, but that literally takes months to get to. So it's like such a slow progression, but I don't know. I think it's because I'm impatient and I like to get to the fun stuff.
No, I feel you 100% because it's like Oh my God, we have to follow this protocol still. You can't even do anything active yet. Like,
No.
it's literally all passive. There's way
Protocol.
so much.
That's part of the reason I think I love being a PT is because you can get creative and you can do a lot of fun things with your patients based off of their likes or their interests. But in that scenario, and I think it just came to me why I don't like post op as much, specifically shoulder, is because they tell you exactly what to do. And you're just like, okay, it's week 6. Let's initiate active range of motion, versus like I can make decisions myself and decide like what I want to do. So yeah, maybe that's fine. But
No, that makes sense.
we like to treat it all, really, but
We do.
we like other things better.
Are there any things you'd like try not to treat or are just like not comfortable treating? So like you tell them not to give you like those types of evals?
I have not had any concussion or even like vestibular. I have had some vestibular patients that are just like straight up BPPV and I can treat that. But like in most of our clinics, we have someone that does that. And then I'm not pelvic floor certified, but I do want to get that certification eventually. But no, I'm really cool with treating any body part and I feel comfortable if it's like ortho related.
Gotcha.
Cause yeah, I've done so much ortho at this point. I think we covered a lot today and that was fun to hear about like your travels and, all the different places that you've been to.
You too. I love hearing about Hawaii all the time.
I know. Literally on my mind 24/7. If you had a snapshot of my brain, it would be like half of the space would be filled with Hawaii memories. And just
I remember all of the stories and videos, and it always just looked so nice.
We can share some of our travels and everything on our social media eventually.
Oh my God, yeah.
Would that be fun?
That is recaps of like where we've been and like things we've done.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
But anyways, it's time to wrap up, guys.
It is late. It is 11:36 p.m. where I'm at.
I forget that Mel is 3 hours ahead. So
the time change sucks.
Thank you for changing your sleep schedule for us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. You are very welcome.
I don't know if you were necessarily going to get your 8 to 9 hours tonight, but you can make up for it on your month-long vacation.
Yes.
But thank you guys for listening. We wanted to keep today light and talk about some of the adventures we've had so far on our travel PT journeys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the physio_diaries. Mel's Instagram is Dr. Melanie Ziazaris. Mine is Dr. Kosh PT DPT. And we will have all those linked below. And subscribe to the podcast so you can get notifications on when a new podcast episode comes out. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great week.